Where am I? What's going on?
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Can't Afford a Therapist podcast. It's 2022, and we're coming in hot. I have the alt left with me today. It is Matt, Kay, and Chris. What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Good evening. How's it going, man? Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for having us on.
No, thank you guys for having me on. So that's why you guys are here today. We were just, chatting online. We became like pretty good friends through the internet and just doing each other's podcasts. And dude, I had an absolute blast on your show. I haven't laughed that hard. I haven't been a guest. My first time guesting on a podcast, and
it was genuinely a good time, man.
Yeah,
it's good to do bits. Like, because literally, I was just doing some of my stand-up bits on this.
That's okay too. Like, it was entertaining as shit. Eventually, it's also going to get edited, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine. Whenever. When I said some not so great things.
So you're saying we're here because you were on our podcast. So basically, this is the business end of the reach around. Is what's going on here.
Dude, we're giving handies out left and right. No, this is
only left. Only left.
We're giving out handies to the left always.
Yeah, we only give out left handies. Okay.
It's like the weed rules. You pass to the left.
Exactly.
Before we get into some weird shit, I want to talk to you guys about Logan Paul's $3.1 or $3.5 million mishap that's been going on. Have you guys heard about this?
I heard about it.
All I've heard today was something about him getting like busted, or admitting he was like a huge drug addict.
I haven't heard about that. No. This was he spent 3.6 or $3.5 million on like 6 boxes of Pokemon cards.
First edition,
that ended up being fraudulent.
Yeah, so they were first edition, authenticated. Said they were legit when he bought them, but like the whole community was saying, "Yo, the guy who's selling it changed his backstory 3 times. At first, it sold for $70,000, then for $2.5 million, now for $3.5 million. Like something sketch." And he was like, "Nah, it's not sketchy." And then for like weeks, he's like, "All right, fine, I'll go get him checked out." Gets him checked out. The guys that are going through it are like, "Yo, this is clearly fake. This one doesn't say this," and he's freaking out. They open the boxes. I feel bad. I don't really feel bad because
I don't feel bad at all. Yeah. Fuck that guy.
Here's the thing. By the way, I just looked it up. It's been reported he already got his money back. He didn't even get ripped off.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, the seller who sold it to him apparently also didn't know. Like the seller got ripped off. And so he immediately reimbursed Logan Paul.
Yeah.
So what happened was there was an intermediary guy in this. So I do know a little bit more about this. So let me just give you the clips notes. So there's a friend of Logan Paul's who bought this for 2.5 with the assumption it was going to sell for 3.5. Now the intermediary knew, there's some shitty stuff. Where this kind of gets interesting is there's I forget the name of it, but there's an institution that actually validates these things, right?
Yeah, there's a couple of them.
They've got their own kind of security tape. They've got all this stuff in there. They signed off on this box, saying it was legit without it being open, saying that everything we use to determine if something is fake is not showing any kind of red signs. Now, they don't open the box. It's all based on exterior stuff, condition of the box, the tape that it's wrapped in, all that stuff. But this place, which is basically their whole premise, is built on garnering the trust of people buying these things so that they know they're getting legit stuff. They signed off on this, which is why Logan Paul ended up doing this. And it comes out to find out, like, it didn't even have all Pokemon cards in the box. Like, there was Ninja Turtle cards.
Really?
There was soccer cards.
Apparently G.I. Joe ones. Yeah.
Wow.
They open the box. He's like, "G.I. Joe?"
And I mean, to be fair, knowing is half the battle.
But here's this is when it gets really interesting. So I'm hearing mumblings and rumblings on the internet that this was kind of like a setup. Like he knew that he was getting something fraudulent, right? Maybe with the fact that he got his money back so quickly, right? Like that could kind of verify this a little bit more. And it's to push NFTs. That like people saying this wouldn't happen on the blockchain. NFTs are the way to avoid stuff like this. And I wanted to hear your guys' opinion on that.
My first opinion, and I'm going to piss off half your listeners, NFTs are just beanie babies for incels, first of all.
So I had an NFT podcast, so not NFT, but like cryptocurrency back like last year. And I told them straight up, and it was like, dude, it's like the future. It's like, what happens when the economy collapses and the money doesn't real? And I just have Bitcoin. I go, what if I have a shotgun? Right? Like, what is your imaginary money going to do then? And he's like, fair point.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, even then, like crypto is something I trust a little. I have a little invested in crypto and some Bitcoin, not a ton, but I have a little bit because again, that's something that's not going to go away anytime soon. But these NFTs, like people are buying these fucking Bored Ape logo bullshit. Oh, I spent 10 grand and I'm in the Bored Ape Yacht Club, and it's like, dude, like, have you tried sleeping with women?
No, they haven't. You guys actually
and
have
Logan
your
Paul's
own
been big on
NFTs.
this.
Look at your
Look at
logos.
Yeah, right. By the
Yeah.
way, if anybody would like to purchase the NFTs of the Alt Left logo, please contact us. Matt, what's the email?
that's the Alt-Left Podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah, we are selling them for $250K a piece for our individual faces and $500,000 for the main one with all three.
No,
And
that's
they already know you're wrong because you're not speaking their language. It's like 3.4 Ethereum for each
yeah.
individual. There you go.
Oh, if we're talking Ethereum, we're talking like 100,000 Ethereum.
Okay, but here, let me sweeten the pot then. If you buy now, we'll throw in a free session of Dr. K's quantum massage.
Yes,
absolutely.
Actually, I'm gonna up that a little bit. We're gonna go with 2 full service sessions of Dr. K's quantum
And
massage.
let me tell you what Kay will do for full service.
That's exactly right.
That's on my Patreon if you want full service.
But yeah, no, NFTs are bullshit. First of all, they're ridiculous. Again, here's the thing. Okay, my thoughts. Cryptocurrency is obviously bullshit. Sure, but so's real money, and I have money in my bank account. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
First of all, gold and diamonds are bullshit. Anything that holds intrinsic value is bullshit. And then to base a currency off gold, you're going one step past bullshit. Our currency is no longer based or backed by a tangible mineral or metal, and it is now just on the full faith and credit of the federal government and the Federal Reserve Bank. And then beyond that, now we're guaranteeing that cryptocurrency is worth X number of fake dollars off X number of fake metals in an X number of fake banks. And now we're going to say it also by this monkey face. It's fucking stupid. And anybody who's pushing NFTs is either a sap or a con man.
Logan
You're
Paul
one
is
of the
pushing
two.
NFTs.
And Paul
Yeah,
is both.
con man.
Which
both.
then makes this conspiracy a little bit more quiet. You're like,
But, yeah, but that's my thing. It's like, could it be a ripoff? Sure. Could it be just a publicity stunt? Sure. Could it be him pushing something? I mean, this guy is a known schlub, dude. This guy sucks. Sure. If you told me he was fucking selling this to rip people off of Dogecoin so we could buy fucking, I don't know, ladyboy hookers in the Philippines, I would say, sure, why not? This guy sucks on toast. Fuck Logan Paul. There's nothing you could tell me that you could have told me he was doing it to secretly buy fucking, Nazi paraphernalia to put in his closet. I'd be like, sure, why not? Like, I fucking sucks ass. Yeah, that tracks.
So the other reason why I bring up NFT is because I'm not like the biggest fan of them. Obviously, you guys know where I stand politically. Like,
I love them.
It's kind of a bit of a thing. Like when we're collectively, some of us have our outliers, I guess. But I like actually buy like actual art, like handheld, put it up on my wall, kind of shit. Like support the artist. And I know a lot of artists who are like, I'm not getting into NFTs because they're like bad for the environment. It's all this, it's all that. But I'm like, and when I tell people why I don't like NFTs and why I don't really go to like art galleries to buy art, I'd rather buy art through an artist straight up. Is because a lot of it's due to money laundering, and that's what I feel like the NFTs things are going. Like, who's the new owner of the Mets? Stephen Cohen. Stephen Cohen. I was working at C-SPAN. We had an author, I forgot her name, who wrote a book about Stephen Cohen and money laundering and like this kind of shady shit that all these billionaires are involved with. He bought $150 million statue, and it's like a stick figure statue for $150 million. I'm like, why? This is not worth that much. It's like a ceramic class kindergarten thing. Like,
No, that's also probably going to sit in a in a warehouse somewhere or something like that that'll never see the light of day. He did it because it's a good tax shelter, and they get away with it.
And you can value that art at almost anything. You like,
oh yeah. He bought it for 150 million. He's going to value it at 400 million and take the fucking write-off.
Yeah, so that's a whole thing, and that's why I don't trust NFTs, because a lot of people don't know this behind-the-scenes stuff with art. That when a rich person buys art, they bring it to an appraiser, and that appraiser happens to be like one of their buddies. He goes, you paid $100 million? Fucking got a bargain. This is worth $1 billion. I'm like that, like not that egregious, but like it's stuff like that.
Damn near.
Exactly. But then they can take that shit off their taxes because it's an investment into the arts, which is bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
and it's as a comic, you know, like we were just saying before we started recording, like all these comics in New York are like fighting COVID right now because they have to go out and do shows if they want to like network and do like the job. It's really hard to not do comedy like as a comedian, like because you missed a couple days, you're shit, like you're back to square one. And
Yeah.
especially if you're not networking, you're not talking to people, if you're not doing podcasts, you're not getting on people's videos and stuff, like you're kind of not doing anything. And
It's a performance. It's like acting. It's like music. It's anything. If you take your hand off the iron for a second, you've lost ground.
yeah, exactly. And they just shut down a bunch of plays. To Kill a Mockingbird was shut down till June, right? And so that's a
Till
bunch-
June.
Yeah, so that's
Wow.
a theater shut down till June. The actors, there's backup actors, there's stagehands, there's crews. There's so many people.
Oh, and if
there.
you think all of those people are going to actually return back, back to that particular theater in June, you're fooling yourself.
I guess I think if there was just some kind of system, right? Like, is if like let's say like every single person, and you don't make it the same person. Like, let's make it fair. Based on your income, right? If you were to pay a small portion of that income towards some kind of, I don't know, federal government that could maybe, be in charge of things like laws and public safety. And then maybe they could amass that money together and then use it for the public good and give people things like healthcare and pay them for not working when they need to and kind of establish some kind of infrastructure for calamities that, happen constantly. I think we should start one of those. That would be a good
I don't think it'll work.
Is your boy good? Does he have a fever? This sounds crazy.
I just don't think it'll work, man. I think you're talking crazy.
About some sort of like security for people, as a social community, right?
Yeah.
So like a safety net of
some kind of safety net that would be kind of guaranteed by some, I don't know, federalized system of governance.
But you're missing the point. Why would I want to give them my money when I can buy an 8-bit ape and get on a yacht with other 12 sweaty dudes?
Right.
That's one of the things like you get with one of these.
Hold on, you didn't buy the ape. All you did was download a copy of it, and your name got written in a magic book. I mean, this is literally digital Mormonism, is what they're fucking selling us.
Yeah, dude, it's wild.
All they're selling is exclusivism.
I think
that's literally it.
I think the blockchain might have like technologically use. Like,
you mean the blockchain that the IRS has already been able to crack, and now Russians have already been cracking it and stealing people's blockchain? That indestructible blockchain? Yeah,
maybe not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not very into this.
Just this month, Russian hackers already stole like over 3 million in Bitcoin in one shot just by cracking the blockchain.
Love that.
Well, you know what gets me about it is like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but when Bitcoin first started getting big, like the libertarians especially were all about it. They're like, this is going to be the cure for crony capitalism.
It was under 18.
Yeah, right. And then look what just came out back in like the end of December. A report came out. Something like 0.1% of the crypto community owns 27% of the wealth.
Yeah.
Literally, it's capitalism, bar none. It's exactly what this is what capitalism breeds. Yeah. And it's like, and I've actually checked a couple of libertarian boards to see what they're saying. It's just like, just wait, guys, just wait. It'll fix itself. The market will decide. The market will decide, guys. It's just like, come on.
Libertarians are just capitalists who are convincing themselves they're getting in on the ground floor of something. That's all it is.
Yep. Well, they just rather be fucked by a company of their choice than a government that they don't choose.
And 12-year-olds.
That's literally all it is. Well, I'm glad that you bring that up because like nobody talks about that when they talk about cryptocurrency, right? Who are these people with all these Bitcoin? Who got in at super early time?
I'm actually, I got to tell you, I have a story of how much I hate myself. Years ago, I worked as the manager of a tech support call center, and my co-manager was way more into tech than I was, and he was actually one of the like early Bitcoin miners, and he was mining this shit. He was like using the company servers and shit. Nobody had no idea what was going on, so he was like, "Hey, you guys mind if I like use some of the server access at night when no one's using it?" And the boss is like, "Yeah, I don't fucking care. Go for it." So he's fucking mining Bitcoin on the company servers, right? Doing it at home, doing it at work. And I was like, what is this? And he's like, oh, he breaks down kind of what Bitcoin is. And I'm just like, well, that sounds stupid. And he's like, no, here's the thing. By the way, he's like, I'm not a full timer. He's like, but I've already gotten like almost 10 Bitcoins. And so I'm just, I'm trying to mine away. I'm like, how much they're worth? He's like, they're worth almost $100 a piece. And I was like, And he's like, you should buy into one. I was like, I'm not giving you $100. I could have had a fucking Bitcoin for $100. That'd be over 50K right now. Like, I don't know, Sean, I don't know where you are, sir, but I hope you are on an island getting your dick sucked because you deserve it.
Well, let's.
I hope he didn't sell them when they were at like $1,000.
No,
Is what I really hope.
He was a true believer. He probably still hasn't sold them. Like he was a true believer.
Well, if he hasn't sold them, then they're not worth anything, to be honest.
I'm sure he sold some of them. But
Yeah.
the point is, I guarantee this guy's got a nest. Anyway, I could have gotten in and I didn't. But it feels like right now we're kind of at that point. Like I had some Bitcoin. It's tanked because of the new Omicron variant. When it bounces back, I'm selling it off. Because we're kind of reaching the apex of where it becomes useful, and soon it's either going to completely stabilize like normal currency, in which case it's no better than investing in fucking Deutschmarks. Actually, that'd be better because the Germans are kicking ass. Or
Right.
it's going to
Prussian
completely go the way of
francs.
it's going to go fucking Beanie Baby. But either way, I'm getting the fuck out.
Well, all right. So, but you didn't bring up the awkward part though. Like your friend is lucky, I guess. He was into tech and like kind of saw something there. But a lot of this cryptocurrency was used to trade on the dark web. Not so great stuff. I'm gonna censor my language.
Okay.
It
because we're
was
on
all kitty porn and
Twitch,
cocaine.
No, but there was a lot
Oh.
of people, or I mean,
fine, it's
all
fine.
of everybody that was that traded that early Bitcoin, right? They can still track that. It's still in the blockchain, and there are a lot of people that are getting screwed because of it, as they should, because they were doing a lot of really illegal shit. But everybody thought it makes me completely anonymous, and it just doesn't.
No, nothing. Is.
Everyone had this misconception of, I can just trade Bitcoin and nobody will know who I am. And it's like, well, but it's still got to go in a wallet somewhere. There still has to be banking information. Like, there's still a lot of stuff involved. So you can't just,
used to say that
use
about
it
the
for whatever
internet.
you want.
They used to be, people thought that about Google. When, you know, people used to be like, I got AOL. Now no one will ever know what I'm looking at. It's like, everyone's going to know that until the end of time.
No.
But a new technology comes out, and if there's just the slightest hint of privacy, we assume we have cracked the code for
We
the
have
universe's
complete
secret
anonymity.
and anonymity.
That's the one.
And now we can go ahead and sell all of our Logan Paul Pokemon cards, convert them into
G.I.
Dogecoin, and I can buy we're on Twitch, buy art photographs of a young and nefarious nation.
Thank
Something
you.
vouchers.
Nice save. Nice save.
Nice save.
Vosh NFTs.
Yeah, there you go.
So actually, funny you bring him up. Worst person in the room makes a good point. Vosh today on Twitter, Hillary Clinton said something like quoted MLK, and Vosh just responded like with a picture of Garfield looking in a mirror, with a big red X over Garfield. He goes, I wonder who that's for. Like it's about like the white liberal being it's the same thing Malcolm X said, like the white moderate is
So that
uh-oh.
there's dangerous in the white moderate who says that he said the white moderate was more dangerous than the Klansman because the white moderate, the Klansman, you know where he's coming from. The white moderate says, I agree with you and what you're trying to do, but I wish you'd wait for a more convenient time, was his words.
Yeah, and that's pretty much Hillary Clinton to a T.
Yeah.
Oh,
But,
okay. There's the entire DNC, bro. I mean, I
Yeah.
share this picture still regularly. Like, can you believe this cringe? And it's like, I'm sorry, when George Floyd was murdered, and Nancy Pelosi and all the white Democrats knelt down with their fucking African scarves.
Kente cloths? Oh, dude.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I mean, it was
so funny.
it was just 21st century blackface is all they were fucking doing.
I couldn't
Yeah.
even
It's
believe
just
that
lip
happened.
service. That's
was
all
cr-
it was.
It was worse than lip
That's-
service.
it's
It was
literally this-
appropriation too. It was awful.
It's the same energy as they bringing out Lin-Manuel Miranda for the anniversary of the 6th. Yeah, it was. I couldn't. I was laughing so hard. I'm like, this is not supposed to be funny, but this is fucking unintentionally hilarious. Like, had it
January
not-
6th was just fucking liberal Christmas, dude. It was so, oh my God. They're just, I remember I had this conversation with someone. They're like, well, aren't you upset about January 6th? I'm like, I mean, if you want my honest opinion, I don't have a problem with people storming the Capitol. I'm pissed they stormed the Capitol because they didn't like rubbing elbows with Jews and people of color. I wish they'd stormed the Capitol for fucking healthcare.
Yeah. But no one will ever storm the Capitol for healthcare.
I mean, I will, but it's not going to work.
You guys not my take. I wasn't the biggest fan of the riots at the Capitol. One, because a friend of mine was like in there, and she was texting her group chat, was very scary.
Like
And-
in there
In
as
the-
like
in
a
the Capitol.
journalist, or
Like,
in there as
Got
some
it,
sort of
okay.
believer?
Say no, she was like rioting and throwing them out. No, she's an intern, or not an intern, she's a staffer for a congresswoman or a congressman. I forgot who.
Congressperson.
Gotcha.
Congressperson,
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
She was like on the deck, like in the viewing deck. Like they had to get like escorted by police and shit. It's wild.
All right,
we're
no,
getting,
Austin,
like,
I think
live
it's time to
feeds.
reveal our secret. Chris,
Reveal
Kay, I've been a Trumper lifelong. Austin's the one that brought me in the fold, and you're on right-wing Twitch streams. Let's go. Okay, everyone, attack!
I haven't been responding much because I'm busy reading Mein Kampf while we're talking about this. It's a page turner, man.
It's all right, guys. You don't judge me for this. I was looking for a job.
Uh-oh.
Uh,
Was
I'm
it-
already judging you.
Was it in
Yeah.
Argentina? What happened?
no, it was not in Argentina. It was in New York. It was for a company that wanted me to run their social media. It was Newsmax.
Oh.
Yeah, we were setting
Okay,
up
here's
an
the thing.
interview.
I wouldn't be proud of it. I understand why you feel shame. I'm not going to hate you on it because at the end of the day, we need to have some class solidarity, and people do things they're not proud of when they need to fucking eat.
Felt like a whore.
Yes, but you
Right.
are a whore who is a victim of capitalism. You weren't like, Newsmax is awesome. You were like, I miss food.
Yeah, I was like, I just
I'd
want
like to make rent.
I'd really like to have a job.
It was just
Yeah.
like new glasses and my teeth cleaned, please. No, but then they unfortunately got sued for $1.5 billion and the interview was canceled. I go, I guess they don't have money to hire me.
See, nobody wants to work
Yeah.
anymore.
They need lawyers, not social media.
Yeah, nobody wants to work anymore. They told me to fuck off. We need to go pay the what is it, Dominion, $1 billion.
Good.
So I was like, all right, cool. I guess I dodged the bullet there myself. But
Yeah,
I was willing to go there and just start blackpilling the Twitter, just like, tweet out whatever they want, and then every once in a while I'll just be like, yo, isn't healthcare like the shit? Like, who tweeted that? I don't know. Who must have been hacks?
I don't know. It sounded pretty calm. It must have been Russians. But yeah, Hillary Clinton is like COVID. Every time you think you're about to get over about to get over that awful curve, there's a whole new fucking variant, and now
Yeah.
she's coming back like, oh, now she should run with Cheney and we can have an all-girl
Jesus.
pussy hat fascist ticket. Fucking
Oh my
just
god, yeah.
go
It's
away.
so bad, yeah.
And there's the
Nobody
new and
likes you.
improved
Learn
Mecca
this.
Chelsea. Chelsea's like the Mecha version, like the Gundam Hillary ready to
there-
go.
There is no difference between Democrats pushing for Chelsea and Hillary than people who constantly push for like Ivanka and Barron Trump to run later. It's the
it's
same
the
shit.
No,
same-
same energy.
Yeah,
Same
and
thing.
Michelle
Exactly.
Obama too. I'm like, it's like we don't
No.
like.
Can we not? Didn't we have a revolution to like get out of like monarchical dynasties? Like I could have
Right?
sworn.
Yeah, like really, like we should try to just change it. Maybe the last name. Just like they could be related. Just change the fucking last name every once in a while. Like Jesus Christ. Like don't be so blatantly obvious with it.
Yeah, and it's it's the DNC has really dropped the ball so epically. It's actually been a good thing for the world because again, in the last couple of years, I think in this country we have seen two epic dropping of the balls, one from each side that has fundamentally really pulled the fucking fig leaf away, so to speak, right? So first one, excuse me. The first one is Trump, right? We've talked about this on our podcast. Fucking COVID comes out and his administration does do something pretty good, right? They do Operation Warp Speed and let's get a fucking vaccine out there ASAP.
Mhm.
And again, not Trump because I don't think he gives a shit about anyone, but someone. There was one person, there was some staffer with a quarter piece of a soul left, who was like, "Hey, we need to do eviction moratoriums. We need to do unemployment. We need to do a couple of these things just to make sure we can get through this, right?" And he did these things, and he could have come out and he could have said like, "Americans, I, Der Orange Führer, am here to save you, and I will protect you from the evil China flu, blah, blah, blah. And here's my fucking vaccine. We're going to call it the Trump vaccine. It's going to be the best vaccine anyone's ever seen. No one's ever done anything like it before. Blah, he could have just fucking jerked off all day long about it. But like that would have worked in his favor. And he dropped the ball. So he could have been, I don't know, he could have been like a fucking Nazi FDR, but he didn't. And then you had not the left, but you had the Democrats who had this option. Like literally, if the Republicans could have just handed them a gift basket, it was this. And what do we have? Biden has done worse than Trump.
Okay, are you sure you didn't listen to the podcast I did with Matt and Kay?
I haven't. Kay hasn't finished editing it. So
No.
I wanted to hear it.
Because you're just parroting pretty much exactly what I said. I got the best thing
fair enough.
for Trump. Best thing for Obama was Trump for his legacy. Best thing for Trump is Biden. Like literally,
Yeah.
and I brought this up on the podcast. That when Candace Owens sat down with Trump and she's like, you should like shit on the vaccine. I'm like, why is she gonna shit on the vaccine? It's his fucking legacy. He should drive it home. I gave people money. I gave people the vaccines. What's Biden doing? Like, if he really wants to run for president, that's how he wins. Like literally, and it's so blaringly obvious. But the Democrats just shock me every time that they're just doing absolutely nothing. And then they have just these two assholes in the Democratic Party. It's West Virginia and Cinema.
Manchin
And Cinema.
Yeah.
They're just.
I was going to say there's a lot
men,
more than just two, but yeah.
but they're the two open faces of
they're the hard obstructionists.
exactly. And like, why? Why can't the Democrats be more like the Republicans? Is it because they don't want to? Maybe. And hopefully people like.
I mean,
will
they're
start
just
to
like the
see that.
Republicans. What's the fucking difference?
That's they're two sides of the same coin.
Roe v. Wade is the only difference.
Slap a coexist bumper sticker on them and you got a Republican. That's all you have to do to a damn.
Like the only reason like they stand on Roe v. Wade is so they can say the Republicans will take it away from
Exactly.
you. If the Republicans take it away from us, like they're not going to bring it back. Like I don't.
It's not like they're gonna fight to make it something.
So it's
Does anyone really believe super Catholic like might be excommunicated if he does anything one step out of line? Joe Biden is really going to fight for your right to choose about your body? No,
actually, I think he will. And I'll go on a limb on this one because Joe Biden, first of all, has already indicated he'll fight the Pope on this one. Because unlike Mike Pence, he's an American before he's a Christian. Now, just so you know, I want to clear, I don't think either of those are noble titles, but Mike Pence came out, he's like, I'm a Jesus before I'm American, and I think Biden's the opposite. I think Biden is, yes, very Catholic, but I think the God and the altar he truly prays to is the American flag. And Joe Biden is a right-wing liberal. I wish. You want to talk a place that has cool Republicans, Ireland. But no, like Joe Biden, I think, is this hardcore liberal, and that is a liberal stance. That easy. I believe in equality and justice for white people, and that is what Biden wants. And so I definitely believe that Roe v. Wade, because it's 50 years old, is safe enough for all Democrats to stand behind.
But will they?
Yeah.
I don't think all of them will, but Biden will. Again, he could have easily flopped on it, and he didn't.
Sure, he didn't, but like he's flopped on plenty of other things that lead me to believe.
Yes, but that's the thing is he's been flopping on things for the left. He's been fucking kissing the ring of the right wing. The people he's fucking over and he's breaking promises to is the left wing. So for him to stand up and still be pro-choice makes me think he actually believes in it.
Yeah, but it's, I mean, again, it's easy to be like, yeah, I'm pro-choice. I support a woman's right. But like, meanwhile, left and right, Republicans are winning battlegrounds in every state where they're just stripping it away. Might Roe v. Wade not be overturned? Yeah, but will it be stripped down so much that it doesn't matter? Yes, I think that's what's going to happen.
I don't argue that.
Yeah, and I don't think Joe Biden's going to do a damn thing to stop it.
No, we're just talking about whether or not what we think Joe Biden believes, not what he'll be successful at.
Can he do anything to stop it?
Can he do anything?
We'll see. Because I don't think. Yeah, exactly. I think he's like another Reagan. He's like a Reagan 2.0, kind of like just a puppet in a chair. Just they trot him out there every once in a while and drug him up.
I gotta tell you, we talked about this podcast. He reminds me of George W. Bush. He is this inept guy with handlers, and he came out right before Christmas, and they were like, "What do we do about COVID?" And he was like, "Don't make me do stuff. I'm scared. But ask your governor. Bye. I'm gonna get
Bush
a dog."
had charisma. He was funny. Yeah, Bush was funny. Like,
no, he wasn't.
Who the fuck was laughing at Bush? I wasn't.
Dude,
I was laughing at him, but not because he's funny.
It's not about charisma. He's got charisma the same way Larry the Cable Guy has charisma.
But that wins people over.
Yeah, it's not so much that he's fucking James Bond, like, talking up pussy galore with a martini in his hand. No, he's down home country bumpkin that appeals to most of the United States
Yes.
because most of them can understand what the fuck he's saying, and they look at him and go, "Gee, I want to get a beer with that guy."
Yeah, but that makes him
exactly.
relatable, not charismatic.
But isn't that kind of like the same thing?
No.
Well, all right. So what I say he's charismatic is when he dodged the shoe, he looked right to the camera, gave a little smile. Like
That was a charismatic moment.
Great
I'll give you
awareness.
that
That's good charisma. Like that takes charismatic person to pull off. I'm not defending
Or is
George
it because
Bush.
he didn't quite know what was going
George
on?
Bush. I'm just saying he's more charismatic than Biden, who is drooling on himself.
Okay, well, first of all, the microphone I'm talking into is more charismatic than Biden.
Fair.
And he literally, you could tell, it's like he edged himself for 70 years and then shot his load in the debates. Because that was the only time he had a piece of personality. He came out and he was like, "Will you shut up, man?" Everyone was like, "Oh my God, he said the thing. Yay!" And he's just been doddering old Biden who doesn't do anything after that.
Well, the reason why I like...
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. The reason why I like Trump, like, because he says the silent things out loud all the time. He's like, drug test Biden. Like, yeah, obviously, they're all on Adderall and they're all on Xanax. They're on fucking live TV constantly giving speeches. They don't want them to get, like, make a flub. Like,
yeah,
that's just like an unspoken thing.
Every candidate is hopped up on
know.
meth and caffeine. Yeah,
essentially, pretty much. Yeah, the legal versions of it, but like.
And illegal. You don't think these guys are given amphetamines? Our military uses that. Give me a break. This guy runs the Pentagon.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, he can get some go faster pills.
All right, but Biden. Okay, so this is where I wanted to talk to the three of you. Is Biden the true accelerationist here in this country? Right. I know people are saying like Trump's accelerating us into fascism. I think it's actually Biden by pissing off everybody, but like 6% of like neolibs. You know. Did we lose you? Oh no.
We talked about a lot too. It's an endless cycle, right? So the right puts up an even more extreme fascist dictator, right? And he's so bad that everyone on the left just loses their fucking minds. Remember how much the left hated and vilified George W. Bush Jr.? Do you remember that? Like, I mean, he was fucking Hitler for everyone until Trump came along. And so the right just keeps putting up these more extreme right-wing fascist dictator types. And everyone on the left is freaking out and they just want to get rid of him. And so the DNC is like, well, I mean, we don't want in your face fascist, but we like kind of what they're talking about. So let's give them this middle of the road milquetoast Democrat.
Fascism as a treat.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so they put them up and they sell it as, this is how we got to beat this guy. We can't go to extremes because if we go to extremes, we won't win. And they convince everybody that's a supposed leftist to vote for this center-right corporate shill who does nothing, changes nothing, and gets everyone so pissed off and worked up that they go right to the next fascist dictator the right puts up. And it's rinse and repeat every single year. And we had a chance this year. We had 2 chances this time to get somebody different with Sanders in. And we're not even talking like compared to any other Western nation, Sanders is a fucking centrist. Yeah, period. He's not an extremist in any way. The only way he's extremist is in this fucked up country where people don't know what left, right, and center actually are.
Yeah, wait until you start talking about like private properties of fucking theft and people start blowing their like, what the hell is this guy saying?
Right.
Like,
but we didn't get it because why? Because the DNC decided, no, we're not going to let you have it. And then when we just found this out this year, when it was litigated in court, our courts decided the DNC has a right to favor somebody and decide who they want as their candidate. Like that's done. Like this is the country we have. And what's ironic too, and we've talked about this before, Chris is actually the one that turned me onto this. Yeah. The Republican Party actually has a more Democratic primary than the DNC does.
Yeah.
Wrap your minds around that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Republicans believe in democracy in their own party more than the Democrats.
Remember the Republican primaries? Did they want Trump? No, they wanted what was it? Ted Bush.
No.
Jeb Bush. There we go.
Yeah.
Jeb Bush. They wanted Jeb Bush. That was their guy. That was the go-to.
But that's not what the American people voted
their
for.
base was like, fuck you. We want the fucking psycho-fascist Orange Fear. And that's what they gave them. And now the entire party has lined up behind that ideology.
I want to point out another set of dominoes here that we don't talk about a lot because I agree with you, Matt, and I've said that myself. But something else to note is that we keep, like kind of Matt was saying, we keep talking about, well, the Republicans keep putting up a more far right. It scares the Dems into voting for whoever. I just want to point out both parties are just putting up far and far right ones because
Yeah.
we
I
like
was
to think of
I was going to
Obama
talk about
as
that.
as the leftist Democrat. Clinton was left of Obama. Clinton,
Oh, very much so.
Clinton didn't like war crimes, and he was against drone bombing children. And you know who was left of Clinton? Carter. So it's like Carter, the guy who's dying of cancer, you're still building homes for people. That is a Christian, first of all. But secondly, Carter is the liberal Democrat. And then we shifted to the right, and we had Hansy McGee Clinton, who wasn't Carter, wasn't that great of a guy, did a little raping, did a little killing, did a little real estate fraud, but hey, he plays the saxophone, he wears sunglasses.
Politics.
Yeah.
Smoke pot.
Didn't inhale.
Yeah. We get Obama, who, hey, he's got the right complexion.
Obama inhaled.
But Obama was just a hip Republican, because really think about it. Obama was, again, no one in history has deported more people than Obama.
Mm-hmm.
No one has drone struck more civilians than Obama. No one has pumped more money and death into foreign wars in history than Obama. Obama campaigned on things like closing Gitmo. Nope, it
Still
remained open. And he even came out and said, we tortured some folks. And by the way, the concentration camps at the border that we blame Trump for, Obama built them and set that system up. So to put Obama as a leftist, bullshit. Obama was the furthest right we've ever had. And now what has happened, the Democrats have shifted to the right again. And
I'm sorry about this.
it's all good, man. We're clearly being censored.
There's leftist audio and leftist internet. Yeah.
The FBI is coming for us, man.
At least we're gonna go down off the live stream. So we just saw me sitting at the camera looking like, okay, this is gonna help.
No, it's
Yeah,
okay.
it's
We vamped. It was cool. We just took over for a little bit, did a little intro.
That's okay.
Actually, honestly, Austin, if you could just see your way out, we're going to finish this up.
All right, cool. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for having me. Follow my podcast, Can't Afford Therapist. We'll just get right back into it. We were saying about how America's already a fascist country.
Yep.
And
We're already there.
Was looking at my phone for a very specific reason. 2001, System of a Down came out with an album called Toxicity. First song on that album is Prison Song. Shit's
Great
only
song.
gotten worse.
Yep.
Yeah.
21 years later.
Yeah. Nothing has improved.
Nope.
Living standards have gone down. Inflation has gone rampant. Corporate pay has gone up for executives. It has dropped for people. They're now finally the Democrats are like, well, maybe we'll give them $15 an hour as a treat, right? They've been doing that for 20 years. Like $15 an hour doesn't mean shit anymore.
No.
You can't live on $15 an hour.
Nope. I live in New York City. Like literally, I was making $23 an hour at my last job. Could not afford to live by myself. Barely could afford to live with two other people. Like literally, it's insane. Let alone buy a house. So New York City, like you guys probably understand it, being where you guys.
Yeah, we live in Los Angeles. We live in the second most expensive city in the country.
So,
except New York is 5 times worse.
It's
I don't know about 5 times, but it's definitely worse.
So I was watching something on YouTube the other day. It was a video about an apartment that was for sale in New York, for rent. It was $2,300 per month for a 550 square foot apartment.
I mean, I'm gonna point out that my rent's a couple $100 cheaper for like an extra 150 square feet.
Your apartment's bigger than that.
My apartment's tiny.
Let me tell you my favorite one I ever saw on Zillow.
It ain't no 650 square feet, dude. No way.
No, I said a couple hundred more.
So this apartment I saw is 350 square feet, right? Most of that is hallway. You have your kitchen consisted of a microwave and a sink. And then there was a aluminum ladder nailed into the wall that went up into your loft, which was a 2.5 foot crawl space above your hallway.
Which 8.5 inches of that is now mattress.
Yep.
And that's everything. All living spaces in New York are some of the smallest in the country.
Oh yeah, they are on par with like the Japanese.
I knew a kid that was living with 3 other people in one bedroom, and I was like, "What are you guys doing?" Like, "Oh, we each get a corner." I was like, "What the fuck do you mean you each get a corner?"
You each get a where they just have mattresses on the ground and like.
I guess so. I never went there. I was like, I don't even understand how that works. I don't want to see it. It's just gonna make me upset.
Yeah, I mean, and in all honesty, New York is a lot like San Francisco. Like people are literally spending $1,000 a month to tent camp in backyards.
Yeah. It's literally wild. Like some of
But
these
hey,
places I see-
capitalism's the only system that works.
So what you're telling me is I need to take on a couple more roommates?
possibly because the
Hey,
eviction
I've got-
moratorium ends this weekend.
I've got a perfectly good closet.
If it's like by 4x4, it's larger than most people I know.
Yeah, it's much bigger than 4x4.
Yeah, rent it out. I've been in
you're
there for
giving
years.
You're giving people a life and luxury with that closet.
Yeah,
they can have full use of the bathroom too,
this
like
is how
any
fuck-
time of the day.
This is how fucked up modern capitalism
Relax.
is.
Full use of the bathroom. You go to the backyard like a
And the kitchen. There's no backyard. This is a condo.
Okay,
I'm just
sorry.
like people in Manhattan watch
The
Harry
backyard's the
Potter.
patch of grass in the front of the house.
People in Manhattan watch Harry Potter and get jealous.
Right?
Yeah. I wish I could say like some magic words and my whole house becomes larger.
I just meant the spacious living spot under the stairs.
Yeah, everyone's
Oh, yeah,
looking
no,
at like,
that's-
oh my god, he got a
that's
whole
magic.
cupboard under the
No,
stairs.
He's got kitchen
Jesus.
access.
He's magic. That
Full
wasn't
bathroom
a
access?
real.
Holy shit.
He expanded on that. He used whatever his fucking powers were to expand under that that staircase. It's I wish I had that motive. Like, ugh.
We all do. Don't worry.
I would
dude.
just fucking magic wand some gold all the time.
Well, that's
Alchemy.
also-
I mean, come on.
that's
'cause that
also
works.
a good way to do it. Yeah, but would
Yeah.
you corrupt yourself into being a capitalist pig?
How is defrauding and devaluing this
Well,
systematic
it's
oppression of people
magic.
through metals?
It's magic.
wrong?
It's not defrauding. You're just making them appear. You're just becoming a part of the problem.
How is that part of the problem?
I don't
Wait,
know.
so are you saying like what you do is you take it from somewhere else and then you make it appear in front of you, or are you like
I
actually
am-
manifesting?
From what I understand,
'Cause
right,
If you're
they
just
can
manifesting, then you're
manifest.
devaluing.
Here's
I
my
don't read
question:
Harry Potter. That's like the liberal Bible.
How would any of that? How would any of that harm the working class? Nope, I'm good.
It
I'm
it
solid.
wouldn't.
All
Nope,
right,
Dobby's a
so-
free elf. Damn it.
So I'm gonna go full nerd here, just so you guys, because I am a Potter nerd.
Yeah, we
Uh,
know.
It's written in Austin doesn't it? And anybody? who
Oh,
wanna do
sorry.
that?
Pardon me.
Yeah, shut the
Yeah,
fuck up, Kay.
God, what an asshole! Jesus, why are we friends, Kay?
I don't know.
Oh, it's because you're beautiful. That's what it is.
That's also
Sure,
true.
that's so
I have a mighty beard that
Yeah.
is.
It is. All of your power derives from that.
That's
facial hair.
exactly right.
I didn't shave today because I knew I didn't want to be naked in front of the beard.
That's fair. This is a heavily bearded podcast.
yes.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And I just wanted
But
to feel included.
yeah, there's actually laws about what you can and can't do. You can't actually create food, gold.
You
water-
can't create food.
No, you can't.
Oh, it's definitely liberal.
Yeah. So you can make water, but you can't create food. You can only transport. So basically, if food exists, there are spells to bring it to you, but you just can't create it in thin air. Same thing with gold, and there's something else too that I can't remember exactly because it's in the books. It's not in the movies. But
Well,
yeah,
I mean things like food and gold that people actually need to have value to keep the
Yeah.
economy going. Got
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rowling showed our true colors right away.
yeah. I mean, also kind of some undertones with some of the characters. We'll digress.
Undertones?
Kind of.
Kind
Character
of.
Dude,
named
she- like,
Ching Chong.
I love Harry Potter,
I
but
did not know
literally,
that.
she named an Asian character Cho Chang.
What's the difference?
Yeah. Isn't it like a Korean last name too? It's like all fucked up. It's like a Chinese character, Korean name. It's
And then
really bad.
she's gonna put some Indian people in and call them the Patel twins. Like, okay, awesome, well done. Like, fucking
Yeah.
yeah. Okay,
maybe,
maybe I gotta.
maybe there's a nice man of color who cleans the bathrooms named Uncle Remus.
I should brush up on my Harry Potter. I didn't know how deep it got. Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh,
All
yeah.
I know is that they teleport their shit away and they shit themselves.
No, and the nice guy who parks the cars name is Jose Cuervo, and
They don't allow him to do magic though. He's got to.
and anybody who changes their gender identity gets shot.
Well, there's magic to bring that shit right
Now,
back.
you guys don't understand. After the fact, she let everyone know that Hermione was really black and Dumbledore was gay.
That's what confuses me about her, right? Like she adds all these extra shit, but then it's like I draw the line trans. Like
Well,
okay.
dude, it's there's a lot of weird shit. Like if you go into even it is because she appears like like so woke at some points with the things she does, but then you start really digging into it. It's like, okay, you're saying Dumbledore's gay, but in no way is it ever really brought up, addressed, or affects the story in any way. It's just like clearly you're just trying to get points from the community after the fact.
Yeah. I don't know how we got so deep into Harry Potter.
So anyway, the point of this was talking about fascism.
Yeah, and we got to Harry Potter. Which
Yeah,
is,
but
which
I
is a
mean,
perfectly
hold
normal
on.
conversation.
Harry Potter's up there because you're going to tell me the Ministry of Magic isn't a fucking fascist oligarch empire. I mean,
Big time.
When you
Right.
break it down, Harry Potter is literally the story of the rich kid jock who then graduated as a mid-range student and became a cop.
Okay, yeah, that's a great way to describe it. Yeah, he becomes like a minister, like works for the
Yeah.
Ministry of Magic.
He's a
be like
fucking
in
he's a rich
Aurora.
kid C student jock who marries his high school girlfriend and
You know
becomes a cop.
I'm saying it. Voldemort was right. We should have fucking put that kid in the ground when he wanted to. It would have caused so much countless deaths to just not have happened.
But I actually think it's a good analogy, though, if you look at it, because, like, what's Voldemort? Voldemort's the obvious Nazi, right? He's
Yeah.
genocidal and he's super racist. I mean, he's like not even just racist; like he believes in like eugenics, right? So he's
Oh, yeah.
clearly a parallel to Nazi Germany, and that completely distracts you by how fucked up everything else is. And it's the same thing. It's like, yes, and here's this book for children written by a fucking racist turf.
Do you guys?
Of
watch
course, she's
anime?
pointing to Germany.
Do you
What
guys
was
watch anime at all?
No.
No. So there's a show pretty popular now, Attack on Titan.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's got very similar like
I tried and hated it.
themes. Oh, I love this show. So some of these characters are like clear, they're supposed to be the Nazis. They want to eradicate one of the races of people. And my friend's like, "Oh, aren't they right?" I was like, "Dude, they're literally Nazis." Like, why do you say that? I'm like, "They're wearing armbands." Like, how more like how more like on the nose?
We've
you wanna
actually
get?
hold on. We've actually talked about this. I think Chris, was it you and I that was having this discussion? It's because when you strip away all the iconography we're used to, like swastikas, iron crosses, and things like
Yeah,
that,
people actually like Nazis.
People
yeah,
fuck with fascism. Yeah, it's
that's the
weird.
thing. It's because fascism is attractive. Unless you've got the in-your-face Nazi symbolism to really identify it, most Americans cannot identify fascism, which is why people like Trump get elected, because it's all this stuff that makes them feel good about being wrong and stupid and unpowerful. It's like they come along, it's like, no, you're the greatest there ever was, there ever will be, and everybody else is wrong, and anybody that says we're wrong, we're going to fucking kill them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody that's ever been a lipdick incel in their life, which, let's be honest, this country is populated by them all. It's amazing that we even have the population we do. I don't believe most
Is the
men in
Bored
this
Ape
country
Yacht
should
Club
ever-
just the new Hitler Youth?
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, it's so easy to get sucked in by it because we're never given the tools to identify fascism. We don't have discussions about what fascism in school. We have discussions about Nazi Germany. Yep. So everyone who and their brother knows Nazis bad, but the moment you strip away the iron crosses, the swastikas, and the gas chambers, all of a sudden it's like, this guy's got a pretty good point.
Hey, we're nothing like them. We defeated Nazi Germany. Now shut up and stand in your public school built on an Indian graveyard and worship a flag.
Yeah,
we're not fascists.
There's a Vox article that shows like the change in like public belief in Europe. Like, I think in France of like who they believe beat the Nazis, and right after World War II, they're like, yeah, it was the Soviets. And now it's like 70% the United States. It's like a 70-year retcon of history. It's wild. Like even Call of Duty, fucking World at War, had you put the Soviet flag up at the end of the game. And people are like, nah, dude, it's Call of Duty. That didn't happen. I'm like, what the fuck?
People think the Americans won the space race. They think Sally Ride was the first woman in space.
Right?
Yeah. I showed my friend that, and he was like, oh, we won the space race. And I was like, dude, you want to see a little image? I'm like, there's like 12 fucking Soviet flags here. And
we won the space race because we said so.
Yeah,
we won World War II because we said so.
We did one thing better than the Russians. We got a guy on a rock. That was it. We got
we landed a guy first.
Yeah, that was it. Everything else,
and then never went back.
They beat us to it. They were kicking our asses.
Yeah, again, and that's everything. They were the first to put a satellite in orbit. They were the first to put an animal in orbit. They were the first to put a man in orbit. They were the first to put a man in orbit of the moon. They were the first to put a woman in space. Like they beat us on fucking everything, and they beat us in World War II because that famous picture of the Soviet flag over the Reichstag, that's because they beat us to Berlin. And I got to tell you, they were already going to beat us into beating Japan too. Japan was in talks with the Soviet Union to surrender, and we had to go and vaporize 2 cities full of children. That's how we won. And if that is not the most American thing ever, I don't know what is.
And then lie for 70 years to everybody about like, no, this is how it happened.
No, it saved lives.
Yeah,
Nothing saves lives faster than vaporizing cities.
Yeah, we just wiped 2 places off the face of the earth. Don't worry about it.
Hey,
Now we're
Manifest
going to
Destiny is a
go
good
to
thing, too.
Russia. Wait, what? We're going to Russia now? Oh, don't worry about it. We didn't say that out loud.
That was Winston. by the way, that was Winston Churchill's plan. It would have been very
Patton, right?
different. Yeah, he wanted to rearm the German Nazi military and march them into Russia. And
Whoa, I didn't know that. That's
yes,
wild.
and unfortunately, he was thrust from power, and that never happened. But and that's where that famous Iron Curtain comes from. After he got kicked out of power and because he wanted to invade Russia, he went around the world talking about how bad the Soviet Union was trying to get people to go to war with them.
I knew Patton wanted to push north through Japan to invade Russia. He's like, we got to keep this shit going.
Yeah. You got to remember, that wasn't the first time we invaded Russia in the beginning of the 20th century. We were part of the Russian Civil War. Us and the British fought the Russian Civil War against them. We were part of the Tsarist army. We were part of the White Army.
And this is stuff that you would never be told. I'm sure you didn't listen to the podcast because this is a lot of stuff we talk, like whitewashing of education. The State Department writes a lot of this shit. I got a little tinfoil hattie towards the end, but it happens.
No, this is exactly why I was telling you and Chris would get along, because you're right. You're right in our wheelhouse, brother. Like I'm telling you, like
I listen to the show. I know, I'm a fan. And so I was like, I got to talk to these guys. We're gonna get along.
But yeah, I mean, again, and I know we strayed way off topic, but yeah, at the end of the day,
that's this show though.
Look around, look at what the definition of fascism truly is. Not Nazism, not German fascism, not Italian fascism. What is fascism? And look at that, and honestly, look at the American government, Republican and Democratic. Look at how we have shifted in this country over the last century, and we have become a fascist nation. We are ultra-militaristic, ultra-nationalist. We are white nationalist. That's who we are, and we can't
ultra-Christian.
Yeah, we can't run from it. We what's that famous quote? When fascism comes to America, it'll be wrapped in the flag and carrying a cross.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. And again, stop running from it. Like, we have to stop being like, no, I believe that the Democrats and Nancy Pelosi will turn. Just stop. Just fucking stop. Just accept it.
Yeah.
So we're getting towards the end. I just want to tell this one quick story. I was
metaphorically and literally.
Yeah. There was I was publicly shamed on Facebook one time for like posting a meme, and like it got real heated in my comments. I didn't get involved. I got involved towards the end, and the kid's like, "You got to read a history book." I was like, "LOL."
I say that all the time.
I go recommend me a history book. But the thing is, like, you probably could recommend a book. Like,
yes.
I go, recommend me a history book. He goes, any elementary school history book. I go, then you're already wrong. Then I'm not reading your whitewash bullshit. Like, I don't come in here with that fucking attitude and think you're gonna be like, I know better than you because I know elementary school.
It's just like the anti-trans debate with the right wingers. They're like, oh, well, you just don't know biology. And it's like, actually, biologists are pro-trans people.
Yeah.
You don't understand. Like, the XY thing is actually not accurate.
Yes. My friend worked for like Spartan Combat, and he was like, it's like they shouldn't be like, it should be like their own thing. I was like, yo, like, why do you think that? And he was like, because when in the news they always win. I was like, yo, they talk about like the 1 or 2 trans girls or trans guys that win. They don't talk about the hundreds of trans athletes that get blown out of the water in most of these fucking situations. They're like, what do you mean? I was like, yo, there was a girl that sued her whatever school, the city, whatever. She sued somebody because there was a trans girl on the track team. She ended up beating her by like 3 full minutes, like something ridiculous. And I'm like, you're just gonna bitch and moan just to bitch and moan? Like, are you really
that's exactly what they're doing.
Person? Yeah, it's just to try to make an enemy. It's always going to be somebody new. Like 2001 to 2015, it was Muslims. Now it's trans people.
Now it's trans people. There's again, that's another fascist hallmark: is there has to be an outside threat.
Yep.
Look out for that guy who's different.
Yep. And I don't know.
I
feel
say
like it's getting-
degender all athletics. Period.
feel
I
like
don't
it's
care. I don't care
getting-
who's the fastest man or woman. Who's the fastest human?
The argument's getting weaker though, right? Like
It depends though. The internet is the greatest and worst invention ever made. It is allowed us to transfer information, and we are now so much more aware of different cultures and belief systems, and it's wonderful. But it has also enabled us to create bubbles of belief systems.
And give the stupidest of us the loudest voices.
Yeah,
That's why things like flat Earth movements and anti-vax movements are getting so big
because they can show their ignorance to everyone and let other ignorant people also see it.
And
Well,
you
yeah.
can surround yourself with nobody but that. So you actually
Exactly.
This isn't
Yeah.
you pushing a narrative. You actually believe this is the universe around you.
Yeah.
Like, look at all the people who were like,
That's
Trump won the
awesome.
election. They'll tell you everyone
It's
knows it.
horrible.
Everyone knows it. Everyone's talking about it. It's just common knowledge. And it's like, no, it's really not. You're just on Parlor.
yeah, and Facebook getting all that.
Yeah, and it
information.
becomes your worldview. You think everyone in the world thinks that.
But what I was trying to say is like, I think that argument's getting weaker because like from 2001 to 2015, they were saying Islamic terrorism, right? They were
Yep.
attaching that
Mhm.
word.
Oh, yeah, it was-
There's no trans terrorism. Like, what are these people trying to do? Like,
Dude, sign me the fuck up. As
Be-
soon as
be
cat
fucking
boys start grabbing
alive.
Molotovs, I'm
bro,
into it.
I'm
Let's
in.
do this.
That's literally that's all I share on my Facebook is like cat boys and Molotovs.
Oh, fuck. Oh, dude. I'm going to your page right now. Fuck yeah. I'm into it.
Just scroll through my Facebook, you'll see some of those. But I'm like, they're just trying to exist. How do you hate somebody so much that it's just trying to exist? Like, I'm sure I can understand the anger when you attach like a religious aspects to terrorism, but they get real offended when you go to white Christian national terrorism. Like, can't say that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we literally have a pride every month because at one point, a bunch of people at Stonewall were like, we're done getting murdered by cops because of existing. I mean, that's the thing is it wasn't like Stonewall was a riot, but why was it a riot? Because the cops were literally lynching them.
Yeah, but and people like literally saw that with the George Floyd protests being escalated by the police using. I had to explain to like my bunch of people. I'm like, do you see that like big square thing that's on top of the truck? And they're like, yeah, what is that? I'm like, that's a weapon that they used in Iraq to blow eardrums out of fucking like, children. I go, now they're using it on us, and they're like, oh, okay, like I didn't know that. It's like, yeah, this is what happens.
Did you know the Geneva
Because-
Conventions label tear gassing civilians as a war crime? We're the only country that does it.
Other people's civilians, you can tear gas your own civilians. It's okay. It's your people. You can do whatever you fuck you want to them. It's fine. And then if you got enough money and power, you can do whatever you want to other people's people too.
And that's why I have no respect for people who like, and I again, it's fun to talk shit about the French, but like anybody who actually believes the French are pussies, go take a fucking look at the firefighters who set themselves on fire to fight
And
cops.
Fist
They
bump
erected
the police. That's the exact
Yeah.
fucking thing I used to tell people. I'm like, the French are awesome.
the French are
Yeah.
fucking dude. The French
Dude.
have never left a state of revolution.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're on like their
constantly-
10th government since the revolution.
They're just never satisfied. They're just like, all right, fuck it, burn
As
everything
they
down.
shouldn't be. It's France is almost kind of like the United States, where it's a dichotomy of cultures because there's also a super like anti-Islamic,
Oh,
like
they-
right wing,
super
crazy French culture. But there's also this like, wait, my boss docked my pay 5 cents. Build a fucking guillotine, Pierre. We're killing a bitch.
No one's going to work in the entire country. Everything is shutting down. We are lighting things on fire, and someone's gonna die.
Do you know
Yeah,
how
and
the French smuggled dynamite to sabotage shit during the German occupation? They used to put dynamite in their baguettes and carry. Now, again, that sounds, that's kind of neat. Do you have any idea how volatile fucking nitroglycerin is? These dudes were just like putting sticks of fucking nitro in a loaf of bread,
You know-
tucking under their arm, going, hope I don't die today. Oh, well.
Don't trip.
Just walking to an accordion, just lovely French scenery, and just fucking.
Yeah, like the
Under
Vietnam
your
War, how
arm.
bloody and awful that was. That was the French. Like the French don't fuck around. Go look up what happened in Algiers if you want to talk about the French being pussies. Now, sometimes they're fucking evil, but you can't call them pussies.
Yeah.
No, and I love that image of the fire.
God,
lighting themselves
imagine
on
what we
fire.
could do if the US just had even a small percentage of that class consciousness. What did we learn from this pandemic? That all you need is like, what, 10 days to completely just destroy the US economy?
Really,
Like,
it's built
and,
on nothing.
yeah.
Okay, hold on, real
imagine
quick. The U.S. economy is already in shit, and what I mean by this is not just because of COVID, but we talk about how we're the richest nation in the world.
We're not though,
let's-
aren't we? Like,
But let's just say, okay, Okay,
It
Matt,
depends on what
Matt,
you're using to measure. is
Yeah,
what
it depends
is.
on what
Matt, you've
what
got an
stick you
average.
use.
You've got an average middle class home, right?
Yeah.
You drive an average middle class car.
Yep.
You got an average middle class family, right? You're doing all right. You're not loaded. You're not poor. You're doing okay.
Yep.
Now the guy next to you, his house is twice the size. He's got 3 Ferraris parked in the driveway, and he flies to Honolulu once a month for a 2-day vacation. He's also $8 million in debt. Is he really richer?
Yeah.
No,
Or
but
did
I
he
bet
just
he's got
buy
a
a bunch of
small
shit on
dick.
credit cards? Well, who's got a smaller dick than America?
Yeah.
Well, that's
But
how
that's
people
the thing, like,
justify it. Like
If we could get like
little
I
shit
mean,
like that.
imagine what if we like had enough class consciousness that the entire West Coast, which is supposed to be the leftist portion of the US, right? What if all workers just united in solidarity and said, no, fuck it. We're taking 2 weeks for ourselves. You fuckers can figure out what to do without us. Fuck off.
2
Do
weeks.
you know how, like,
Be like the Europeans. Take 5 weeks. Let's do it.
yeah,
That's
like I
because
guarantee you they'd be begging us to come back with 100% increases in everyone's pay because they can afford to do it. It won't take the economy any worse than every worker uniting and deciding, fuck you, we ain't selling our labor for anything less than this.
Yeah, part of why the internet is good and bad is the internet has created this class consciousness, but it's also delocalized it. Like this idea that the coasts are so liberal, it's like that's fading rapidly because now you can be a hardcore Trumpian right winger in the middle of fucking Queens, and you can be a fucking
know some of
commie Molotov throwing motherfucker in a small town in Minnesota because now the internet's here and you can be part of any of these cultures, and
Yeah.
it's all fading. So no, it's unfortunately that's not going to manifest.
It's not.
I don't think the Midwest leftist thing is new though, because you do have a lot of like folk music from like the 20s and 30s.
Yes,
It's
but I
very,
mean,
very
current,
leftist.
yeah, but that's 100 years ago.
True.
Like think of it, things that are from the 20s are 100 years ago. Yeah, country music. Yeah, country music used to be like, I work on a coal mine, my life sucks. Let's eat the boss. Now it's like, I hope I can suck Trump's dick for a new pickup truck, and I
Yeah.
like beer and white people. Terrorists scare me.
the gays.
Oh, the
not even
gays.
terrorists. It's brown people scare.
Brown
me.
people
Come on
scare
now.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrorists scare everyone. Brown people,
But they have
oh.
to say terrorists. They
Yeah.
can't say brown people. That's
that's
become
true,
terrorist
yeah.
has become a dog whistle
Or the
because
Yeah,
who are the
just like-
terrorists?
Yeah,
White
just
people,
like
but
just like thug for black guys. Like,
Yeah.
that's all it is.
The
And
classic
urban.
Cat Williams joke.
Yeah.
The insurgents. I don't know no insurgents.
yeah,
All right, my-
100%.
My final question is a non-political question. It's a fun one, so we're gonna calm you guys down before I send you back off to your families and whatever. It's music. What do you guys listen to when you're getting ready for the pod? Are you like listening to the news? Are you listening to I don't know podcasts, watching TV, YouTube video? What do you got? What do you got for me?
Okay, so there's a couple of podcasts, 2 that these guys actually turned me on to that I can't recommend enough. If you're going to listen to the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe is absolutely amazing.
Best podcast.
Yeah,
Ed
absolutely.
podcast best.
Yeah.
And the Joe Rogan Experience. Just so good. So
no,
good.
Yeah.
No,
We listen to that religiously. We get together and have a listening party. Actually,
Nay.
I still consume a lot of Joe Rogan. I'm not a big fan of him. I just tweeted out something yesterday. I was like, you got to bring back Fleshlight Joe Rogan, and people are like, what's that? I'm like, oh, people don't even know what that era of Joe Rogan was. Like he had Just Comics on, and there'd be 3 or 4 fleshlights on the table because that was his only sponsor. Bring that shit back. That was the good times.
Nah,
yeah, but
he's gone off
it's
the
never
deep end.
coming back, man. It's
Anyway, Matt, you were
it's
talking.
gone.
Yeah,
you were saying.
the other one is Time Suck by Dan Cummins, also amazing. Both of those are like if
He's
you're
a
just an
great comic.
intellectual, yeah, if you're an intellectually curious person, check those out because it's fact-based stuff. Dan Cummins comes at it from just a guy who knows shit, but is a good critical thinker and does a lot of amazing research and is super fucking funny. Whereas Skeptic's Guide is literally just a bunch of like PhDs and doctorate people explaining how to have good critical thinking skills and talking about common stuff. For music, I like it all, man. I actually do like country music, both like the really, like kind of like leftist, like what Chris was saying, that old stuff, but I also like stadium stuff because it's just got a good beat to it. I do draw the line with like I wouldn't listen to like Ted Nugent or any bullshit like that, but like there's some stuff I like Florida Georgia Line and some Keith Urban stuff. But I also like a lot of big time old school rock and roll, like the Eagles, Kenny Loggins, like those are, and even some like James Taylor. That's what my dad raised me on. And then my mom was all into like top 20s or what is it? The top 100 hits or whatever pop culture stuff. So I like it
Great.
all.
That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, you need to consume all of it. You probably know this song, but here's my little recommendation for you. I like to say I don't like to listen to country, but there's this one song that touches my heart. Honky Tonk Badonka Dock by Trace Atkins.
Yes. I love that song too. Yeah, I've played that one for my wife a couple of times.
Oh, it's he shut my
Yeah.
mouth, smack my grandma. What about you guys? You guys got any recommendations for my audience or?
So for podcasts again, with Matt, I've stopped listening to Time Suck with Dan Cummings. He is a fan. He is a hilarious comic, but he's honestly like at first I was super into it, and he's just become such a kind of off the farm libertarian that just everything is like, God bless our troops and I love the country. And it's like he still makes interesting, good content. I don't want to say like he sucks because he doesn't. He has a really good personality. He knows what he's doing. He has a well-performed and produced podcast. But again, if you don't mind his kind of shit personal takes on everything, that's fine. But it's just a little too American Eagle blowjob for me. Skeptic's Guide to the Universe is an incredible podcast. It's very big. It's easy to find. It's on everything. It's free. And it's literally, the host is a fucking neuroscientist. Like, it's literally a group of science-minded individuals teaching critical thinking. It's the best podcast in the world, in all honesty. And that's saying something because the alt-left exists. But if everyone listened to some Skeptic's Guide to the Universe, I actually really believe the world would be a better place because it's just critical thinking. In terms of music, I drive for a living. So I spend a lot of time either just listening to my favorite podcast. Oh, by the way, if you like D&D, there's a terrific D&D podcast called Crit Academy. It's fantastic. I highly suggest reading and listening to it. Anyway, I am all over the place. I like metal. I like hard rock, and I actually, surprisingly, this does not fit, but I really like, how am I blanking on this? Like 80s electronica.
Techno?
No.
Happy
New
hardcore?
No. 80s. 80s.
80s new wave, right? Or no?
Yeah, not new wave, but
Not new wave?
God, what the fuck is it called? I'm an idiot. Anyway, and I also I like soft electronic. Like I've really gotten like the band Churches and like Naked and
Okay.
Famous.
Okay.
Really fucking into them. But that's kind of it's basically either electronic beats with a female vocal or it's fucking metal.
Dope. How heavy is the metal?
It just depends. I mean, sometimes it's not like fucking Sepultura or anything, but like it's a lot of like fucking Slipknot, Five Finger Death Punch.
Okay, all right. I like it heavy.
I like Beartooth.
I'm not gonna recommend you my heaviest band, but Vendetta.
Like Devil Driver and Cannibal Corpse and shit.
No. Oh no, I listen to Slaughter Prevail. It's a Russian death metal band. It's just the language itself is fucking demonic. It's incredible.
Rammstein and Five Fingers and Slipknot is about as heavy as I go.
I try to recommend music for everybody that comes on. So the Trace Atkins thing is a bit of a joke, but for you is I got a legit one. Vended, Vended. It's Corey Taylor and Clown Sons.
Okay. I like Corey Taylor.
Bro, it sounds like a copy and paste of Slipknot, but like modern. It's fucking sick.
Oh, if I can recommend a single song for anybody who's like a super leftist who's listening to this, if you don't already know it, is a song by the Dropkick Murphys called "The Workers' Song," and it is a fantastic union cop fighting. Fucking, it's just amazing. Anybody listen to that?
Okay, so, and I usually like to pick a song for the.
By the way,
episode.
synthwave is what I was talking about.
Synthwave. Okay.
Yeah, it's either metal or synthwave, which is a weird combination.
So I like to pick a song. I usually copyright steal it. Don't really care. There's not many people listening. I'm not going to get too much trouble. But for you guys
in Minecraft, you pirate Minecraft.
Pirate Minecraft, of course. Video games. I play a lot of Minecraft. You know.
Yeah.
But I have like a couple episodes there with like, oh, this is the song. For you guys, I've got a couple ones because like you bring up leftist music, which again is not a lot, and if it is there, sometimes it's not great. Don't want to say that too loud, but there's one band that I really do like. It's the Window Smashing Job Creators and the There's two bands
That's-
actually.
I don't know that band. That's
Window
great. I love the name.
smashing job creators.
Windows Smashing
Yeah.
Job Creators and the Wingnut Dishwashers Union. Both like leftist bands. They're very, very good. But I also, because you brought up like people like fascism because it appeals to them, was the song I was using in the promo for Instagram was "The Communists Have the Music" by We Are Giants or Young the Giant.
Yeah,
Okay.
Young the Giant.
Yeah, and they're like, fascists have the outfits, but communists got the music. And I'm like, that's so true. Because all the artists go one way, and then like all the weird designers go with fucking the fascists.
Yeah, and the fascists don't understand that. If you remember, Ronald Reagan campaigned on "Born in the USA,"
Yeah.
which is literally a song basically about how people like Reagan are terrible.
Yeah.
And who was it? Wasn't there a Republican in the last Senate election cycle who was using "Rage Against the Machine"?
Yeah. No, there was just Republicans dancing to Rage Against the Machine.
Yes.
At like a festival. It's like old white dudes like, yo, you
No,
you are the
he's
machine.
right. There's actually a couple. I think Ted Cruz was one of them. There's been several,
No.
and
Oh my god.
the
they can't
band
be
is
that
actually
stupid.
the band has actually filed cease and desist letters for several Republicans. I think.
Tom Morell's a full-blown communist.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
With the master's degree from Harvard in political
Yeah.
science. Like he's
Yeah.
no one to fucking fret at. Okay, Kate, music podcast for you. So
Oh,
we're gonna go off for another hour. I gotta
Yeah.
keep it going.
Okay, so podcast. This is kind of out of left field, but I love the comic Jim Jeffries, and
Nice.
his podcast is fucking hilarious. If anybody, it's let's see, what the fuck is it? It is called "I Don't Know About That with Jim Jeffries." I don't know about that with Jim Jeffries, and it's him and like 4 or 5 other comics that he works with. And they have some sort of expert on, and they talk about whatever that particular subject is. It's fucking hilarious. Listen to it. And then as far as music, like my tastes are all over the fucking place.
Love it.
And I don't know, it depends on the fucking day what I'm listening to.
Right.
Like most recently I was listening to like the Cold War Kids or
Okay, I've
this-
seen them. They're
the
good.
little artist, her name is Rena Del Cid. I was listening to one of her albums, like just all over the place. But yeah, I would recommend "I Don't Know About That" with Jim Jeffries. Listen to it; it's funny.
Great. And do you guys want to press or plug anything while we're on the way out?
Besides each other.
We can do that after. We're on Twitch still, so that's like I said. If you want to see that, sign up for the Patreon. It's patreon.com/AustinPiazza.
He is going to cut us in on that. So
In all honesty,
no, we're socialists here. Everybody shares.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you want us to plug ourselves, man, the Alt Left podcast. If you like, this is kind of our show. We do basically this. Sometimes we do deep dives into history and politics. Sometimes we do the day's news. It's a political podcast. Sometimes it's funny. It's usually not. We just try. Check us out. Our link tree is literally the Alt Left podcast.
It will be in the show's description. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're on Instagram. If you talk to us on Instagram or Twitter, you'll talk to me or Matt. Emails. Matt, what's the email? He's the one who does that one.
The Outlet Podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah, find us, check us out.
It's real complicated.
Yeah, we made it real hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
And buy our NFTs.
Yeah, buy their NFTs.
They're totally gonna go up in
they're
value,
all
we
of me
guarantee it.
naked in 8-bit.
Oh shit! Hold on. Let me get my wallet.
And the
You
only
accept Doge?
Yeah, I do, but like you got to double the price, so I get my worth. And the only podcast that I'm going to recommend besides Can't Afford a Therapist is Chapo Trap House, because on the 18th I'm having producer Chris Wade on live on Twitch at 7 p.m. Eastern, most likely 6 p.m. Eastern. And if you like me, you want more of me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitch at Austin Can't Afford and Twitter at Austin J Piazza. I want to thank Matt, Kay, and Chris once again for 1, having me on, and 2, coming on and dealing with my bullshit internet. But I had a great time. Thank you guys so much. And I'll see everybody. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, man, this was a great time.
Had an
Thanks for having
absolute
us.
blast. We hope to have you again.
Expletives and the holes in my thought process when I speak. My friends stick to their guns, they got a bunch in the woods of Vermont till the end times come. But Saturn says he's gonna learn to live as if the world wasn't gonna end, and I admire his strength. So today I'm I'm gonna do my best to drink coffee in the morning and live as if I didn't feel lonely and hopeless and helpless, to save myself for the war where I live. And tonight, when I dream, it will be that the junkies spent all the drug money on community gardens and collective housing, and the punk kids who moved in the ghetto started meeting their neighbors beside the angry ones with the yards that their friends and their dogs have been puking and shitting on. And the anarchists have started filling potholes, collecting garbage to prove we don't need governance to do these things. And I'll wake up burning Times Square